Shoot slow, shoot slow, shoot slow, shoot slow, shoot slow, shoot slow, shoot slow.
Frank Lee, homie.
I'm only sipping it slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow. Take a sip, I bet it get you right. And I only speak it if it's real, yeah. Only spill it if it's true, yeah. Everybody want the tea, so you already know the deal. I always sip slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow. Only helping you grow. Tell you things that you need to hear, not only things you wanna know. Keeping you up on your current events, I swear the world's so cold. Talking about marriage and sports too. Man, you gotta catch the show. You better believe me. Got Ality Weezy, J Martin and JT, make it look easy. Whenever they speaking about any topic, if I spoke about it, I was really about it. Ain't no front, I was real about it. In my white cup, it got Hen inside it. It's a message for everybody. Now I'm only sipping this slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping this slow. Take a sip, I bet it gets you right. And I only speak it if it's real, yeah. Only spill it if it's true, yeah. Everybody want the tea, so you already know the deal. I always sip slow. Come with me on a ride. I'm only sipping it slow.
This is the Sip Slow podcast, where we help ourselves as well as others raw, real, and uncut. Audio work weekly. It's your boy, Mr. Money Don't Sleep. So T Weezy can't rest.
It's your boy Duke.
What's going on, fellas? Boy J Dub, man. What's up with y'all?
J Dub in the building. Man, our boy JT, he might join us. He might not. He had a little conflict with work this week, so it might just be us three rocking 3-man weave. You heard?
Yes, sir. Throw that alley to the boy, man. I still may be able to get up there.
All right, I might just bounce it out off the flow. Just bounce it off the flow to you.
Hold up, man.
I'm gonna catch that boy and lay it up.
All right, you got to slap backboard. Yeah, man. What's y'all drink of choice today?
Man, I I gotta stick to the script, man. I've been running around, with a dog or a rabbit, they get tired, they want water, man. So
all right.
So I'm on this Aquafina, my boy.
Got your tongue out.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, I'm sipping a little bit of that whiskey sour today, man. Just a little bit.
Okay. What kind of whiskey?
A little Evan Williams still. I had a little left over, so I said, let me go ahead and finish it off tonight.
How you make that sour? What you put in that?
Man, they got a little sweet and sour mix you can buy at the liquor store. And all I did was pour a little whiskey in there with a little of that sweet and sour, and sometimes it's a little too sweet. I mean, and I put a little splash of lime juice in there. So, just change it up a little bit tonight.
Well, I took it old school, man. I'm on that Mad Dog 2020.
Jubilee.
It's Jubilee. You know how I do it.
Already.
If it ain't Jubilee, I ain't rocking with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I got that orange Jubilee, man.
We
Boy, that was many days on that.
Yeah, we was Jolly Rancher.
Man, I had got back in my younger days. I used to mix it with some vodka or gin. That MD be my chaser, but I don't do it like that no more. But
Well, you were doing damage.
Yeah. I'm really living my raps. You heard me?
Already, T.
Yeah, man. in the city today, 20 years ago today, we lost a legend. RIP to Robert Earl Davis. Y'all might know him better as DJ Screw. So we want to say shout out and salute, because I don't know if DJ Screw even thought of this, but man, he was a trendsetter and shit got the whole world screwed up.
Yeah.
Boys sipping on syrup and got their music slowed down. So something for the culture for H-Town on the map. So salute to the king, man. RIP. Y'all got a favorite DJ Screw CD or tape? Well, great tape, I mean.
Nah, I can't really.
Maybe that June 27th.
Yeah, that's probably like my favorite. You know what I'm saying? That's like a classic. That's probably like my favorite cut if I could, pick if I had that choice.
Right.
I'm gonna have to jump on board with Duke on that one, man. That June 27th, they play it obviously once a year for the recognized, but man, that's one that it don't matter what day it is, what month it is. You listen to that, you feeling some type of way.
Right.
Juice game, you gonna get juiced up.
I might even drop a few bars, man.
No.
Oh man. I'm gonna leave it alone right now though.
Used to come up and come down?
A little bit.
Man, I mostly was a Watts cat myself, to keep it 100. I kind of sided with that north side. I don't know. It's just something about it, but like I say, you can't deny, Screw, Lil Kiki, Hawk, Pat, Boyo, 3-2, Pokey.
Yeah.
You can't deny that, man. That's Houston right there for y'all that's out of town. So you can't deny it, man. Yeah, Mo had free game, but since he not here, I'ma go and jump on it. So free game today is the best way to predict your future is to create it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I already feel it. This gonna be live.
Yeah. The best way to predict your future is to create it. So that's free game.
You know
your
what
boy
you said?
T Weezy.
That's for real, man. Because nobody gonna do it for you. You got your own life. You got your own thoughts. You said something there, man.
Yeah, faith without works is dead.
That's what I.
Yeah.
Real
so for sure, man. So
you on, my boy.
All right, all right, man. Yeah. So what y'all get into this weekend?
Man, the same old, really, man. I pretty much the apex of my weekend. I was kind of busy, but the apex of it was that Terrence Crawford fight. I watched that, so I was a little excited about that, and outside of that, man, it was a busy weekend. I kind of chilled out yesterday late, watched a little football, but yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah, I knew you was watching that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to, bro.
Yeah.
Had to, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say I didn't do a whole lot of nothing, man. We had practice for kids on Saturday. It took up probably about half the day, and came home and relaxed a little bit, cleaned up. I hadn't cleaned up in a minute in the house, so washed clothes. You know how them days go. And then yesterday just had football game, and before you know it, it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Days get away from you quick.
Right. Do you coach them or just out there?
No, man, that coaching is over, man. I've had some. That's something I think we probably could talk about at some point in time on this show. But had some bad experiences with the coaching thing. So right now, I'm just a dad, man. I'm cheering dad.
Okay. Well, Man, I didn't do much of nothing. I was off the weekend, so me and the wife and the kids went out to eat, sip a little something, and just relax, man. So a lot of times that relaxation is a whole lot,
Mm. Yeah.
you know.
Feel
So
good.
It'll take you a
so
long way.
man, when you get a little older, you gotta protect the body. But
Yeah, yeah,
'cause
yeah.
some things you used to do, you just can't do them like you used to no more.
Come on, T.
Man,
Hmm.
I think a lot of people don't realize, man, your body need more rest as you get a little older. Not saying that we old by any means, but man, you just don't realize how good you feel after you don't just sometimes just sit. You don't do
Right,
nothing. Let your mind slow down. It's almost like a computer. You have all them
right.
windows and stuff running every now and then. You got to reset that thing, man. And so it's good
Got
Yeah,
every now and then.
got to
yeah.
reboot it
Huh?
Yes,
for
Lord.
sure. So Duke, man, you know what happened to the family unity?
Man, this a major. That's a good question, man. I think when I look back, when I think about family unity, I look back on when I was a kid coming up. Everybody was together. It seemed like it was no worries, a lot of good times, food. You just had that family pride, and it was good to go to grandma's. It was good for everybody to get together in the cookouts, and you see all your cousins and play, and those were good times. And I was raised on family. My family's pretty big, which y'all know, on both sides. A lot of aunties, a lot of uncles, and that family unity, man, for not only for me but for the black culture, man, is faded. Uh, we've gotten away from grandma and grandpa's teaching. We've gotten away from you know that oneness. Uh, I think a lot of it is the distractions of the world. Uh, a lot of it is prayer. We're not praying and coming together like we used to. And now in today's time, the funerals are the family reunions. You know,
Hmm.
and
Say
so
that.
so a lot of people are, when something tragic happened, that's when everybody want to get together and and come together as one. But it's too late then. Uh,
Hmm.
and so I just believe in the old way. I think we've gotten away from uh, the roots, the foundation that grandma and them put down in us, grandpa. Uh, and it was pride. We took great pride in being strong and standing together. And
Right,
so now I think more people everybody just kind of do their own thing. And, the grandmas and the grandpas are gone a lot in most cases, and the great grandmas and grandpas. And I think this newer age, this newer generation, we done went away from it. And it's a sad thing, man, because family is everything. Family is all a man got. And if you don't take pride in nothing and in life, you should be able to go to your family and know they gonna have your back. But sometimes, in most cases, that you go to a friend before you go to family, or you go to your friend, and it's just sad. But we need to get back to what worked. It was good then, it's good now, and ain't nothing new under the sun. And so
right,
I just believe that family unity is something that we didn't forsaken, we didn't gave up on and gotten away from. And uh, a family that stays together prays together. And I think we need to
right,
get back on our knees and put our differences aside. And I know I mentioned forgiveness and forgiving. A lot of us still holding on to things that we should have been let go. And that's how grandma and them would do it. You talk your differences out, you deal with it, y'all hug, and at the end of the day, we blood, we love each other, and we move on. So I think that prayer is the basis of that. I mean, we've gotten away from it, and no leaders, nobody's really leading.
That's
So
true.
that's
That's
what I think, man. And man, I pray not only for my family and my friends, and we could get the families back together. I mean, we could all work. Now, I'm not saying everything's bad with family, because my family's pretty tight, but it could be better. And in most cases, for all of us as a culture.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's good stuff, man. It just seems like people have given up on what family actually really means. So many times, like Duke was saying that, and it's not really an excuse, but the way the world is going is moving so fast that a lot of people don't sit down or a lot of people don't stop and just go back to the way things used to be. You know, where you sit down as a family, once or twice a week just to talk, find out what's happening, what's going on, or sit down to eat for dinner. I mean,
Mm,
just small things like that. It's gone away from that, and by that happening, there's not a lot of um, knowledge of what's really happening sometime in people's own households, which translates into other things that go on and happen in the world. I think, as Duke said as well, one has to take pride in the family. Your name means something. Not just for the fact of you somebody's child or you part of that family. It means something. Like, you know what, I know that anytime you go out in this world and you do something, you represent the name, and that name is your family. So you gotta really, people need to stop and really focus on what matters. And like you say, that's, if you don't have nothing else, and we know how ugly this world can be and how things can go in jobs, how things can go in friendships, how things can go with businesses, you need a support system. You need a strong support system, and the family reunions and the just going over to grandma's house, or these matriarchs who are in the family that kind of held things together, they're no longer there no more, and it doesn't seem like anybody wants to step up. And it's not only hurting the the idea of what family is, but even these kids that we have growing up, we want to make sure that they understand how important that is. And family was what helped teach you who you are and helped you become who you are, and your values, your morals, and what you stand for. And so it's sad to see, honestly, that um, one can continue to get so caught up in his worldly ways that forget about what's most important. And I think what we found now, since March, or since COVID hit, and how things have changed, when you can't go and be around family, you can't see the people you want to like you used to or love. And it's that's hard. That's
Child,
hard, because now you had the opportunity to, when this stuff wasn't going on, and then now that it's going on, you can't. You know, it's really no room to feel bad, because you had an opportunity. And so hopefully within this time now, people have taken time to, just if nothing else, pick the phone up, let me call and just check on everybody, see how they doing. You got too many avenues out there with social media that you can see and get in touch with family. Take advantage of it, because as we know, tomorrow ain't promised. Time is short, man. And the last thing we want to do is leave this earth holding a regret that I didn't say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm speak personally, even for people in my family that I could reach out to, or just see how they doing. But they also run into the issue of, like, well, they can call me too, or they can check on me too. At a point in
mhm,
time, we gotta, and I'm talking to myself as well. You got to get past that. You got
right.
to realize that
right.
that's one thing that you can't get back is that time, that love, that family. I mean, you think about us in the Black community, we really don't have a true, um, I don't know if heritage is the word, but we don't have anything for ourselves. I mean, just if you look back in the slave days, I mean, they were tight knit. It was only them. If we have that mindset and that want to love each other, love our folks, make sure you do it. That's the only thing I say on that. But yeah, family unity, that it does hurt, man. The fact that there's so many families that don't talk to each other, don't see each other. And again, time is short, and we're losing people on a daily basis, man. So it's a huge issue, and I hope. And then first of all, thank you, Thomas and Duke, all choosing this topic because it's important um, that we carry something on and make sure people within our family realize how important it is. Appreciate that.
So
That was solid. I mentioned on one of our previous episodes that I felt when the matriarch dies, then that's when the family dies. Uh, and I still feel that way. I think, to me, from my experience, I think that's the number one thing that happens in the Black community. Also, you have envy and jealousy, something that shouldn't happen, but it does. Uh, and Dub and John, y'all pretty much said it all, just to be honest with you. But my daddy would tell me about, and I mentioned this before too, about back in the segregation days, how family was together. Uh, Not just your family, but the whole family on the whole block was together. When one person would kill a hog and cut it up, they would take meat down to each household and share it. If your child acted a fool, the whole block with the child. That's why they say it takes a village to raise a child. And something happened, right? There became a war on the black family. Uh, and it is what it is. When you take away segregation, which us never lived through that, we look back on it and say, man, how could I have lived through that, right? So me and my wife will have those conversations. Just say back in the day they didn't have air conditioning, right? She's like, oh, I couldn't live like that. I say, well, if that's all you knew, then it wouldn't be no difference. That's what you in, right? So we look back on it and say, well, all right, we can we can go where we want, so to speak. We can do what we want. We can mingle with whoever we want. But in the process of that, it tore our family unity down. So you might say, well, man, what you talking about? Well, when we integrated, we start wanting to do what other people do. Then you got all these laws and the cocaine and the crack come in the neighborhood. That takes away the father figure because now they locking him up because he's trying to go out here and provide for the family. Now the family is gone. That's why you got so many single mothers out here nowadays. And that's just messing up our family. And, so that's just my thought on that. So was y'all families just real tight?
yeah, coming up, at least I saw it that way through pure eyes, and being innocent as a kid. It was nice. It was, all the stuff that we endured and encountered, all the hardships, all the problems. Even with all of that, our family was still our family. We were solid. We had each other's back, and Not saying that we don't anymore, but you can tell things have changed.
Right.
You could even when you look at the holiday, the seasons, man, we look forward to the seasons and holiday time because we knew nothing else we are gonna all be together. But
Yes, sir.
but now it's Thanksgiving is coming up. It's no one meeting place. Everybody, you know, everybody cooking. Everybody, you gotta stop by. And I remember traveling and coming home and I want to see everybody. You gotta. I got a big family.
Right.
In the teens when it come to aunties and uncles, I can't see everybody. Coming home,
Right.
you go to everybody's house. You can't just stop and eat and leave, and it's just different, man. So I look at it like times have changed, and it's just different. It's real different. You don't feel it. You don't feel it all the time.
Right.
So I got a little different outlook on, coming up. And so I don't even know if I really understood, like, I knew what family was, what it meant, but it took some time to start gaining friends and realize, like, sometimes other families do things like family reunions. I can honestly say my family has never had a family reunion. Usually the family reunion was a funeral, Christmas, Thanksgiving. And so as I grew and learned, it's like, man, it's important to, with my family, is I want to be able to instill certain things in my kids so that when they go on and have kids and be like, listen, no matter what, make sure that your family try to get together on birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, have something once a year. Maybe you take a trip. Maybe it's just something small, but at least do something just to keep that unity together and that touch and that reach with other family members. And I'm a change the subject just a little bit here, and Duke, just give me a second. Thomas and I, if nobody else knows, Thomas and I are brothers. Uh, I'm about 3 years older than Thomas, but Thomas and I have always known each other. We got the same dad. We've always known of each other, played sports, but not until just recently he and I had a conversation, and it was like, there's no reason that he and I shouldn't be closer than what we were. And then we've never had any ill will, we've never had any issues, none of that. His mom treats me just as a son, as like how she would him. So that's nothing against it. It's just it's important that we spend time and understand we both have families, we have kids. These kids grow up, they grow up so fast, man. It's important to try to be a part. And so, like, when I look at the family unity, I mean, this is another perfect example of, like, look, we talk on a weekly basis, sometimes 2-3 times a week, whereas prior to, we just didn't. It was always some sort of staying in touch with social media, but it wasn't until this kind of platform. And so that's why another reason I appreciate this topic coming up, because it also gives me an opportunity to now spend more time with my brother. It ain't no fact that he a younger brother. He ain't the same blood. No, he's my brother. His family, his wife, his kids, they're my nephews, my sister-in-law, my niece. That's important. And no matter what time you find that, you can still do it, but you have to have a will and a want to do it. And like I said, that's why I think sometimes we lose the family unity, because I don't think people put enough effort into it. I'm not speaking for everybody. These are all my opinions. So please don't shoot the messenger, but this is just what I see.
Man, great minds think alike. Cause I was gonna speak on that myself. What you just said, and yeah, thanks to us doing this, and like you said, we would conversate maybe once every 3 months, 4 months, something like that, But now it's at least 3 times a week basis. So uh, you know, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Uh, you mentioned like the family reunions, and I thought about something. On my mother's side, we used to have a family reunion it was on May 5th. Uh, and my grandma had we call it a beer joint,
Oh,
in the country,
Up in bonus.
yeah. So we would go there every weekend, really, and that might not be great for a kid, but and that's kind of was the family gathering spot. Uh, and like I say, every summer in May we have a family reunion. I mean, and man, it was the highlight. You know, you knew when that April hit, you knew that May hit, man. You knew I'm about to see my cousins. We gonna play. We gonna have a good time and enjoy each other. So uh, once my grandma died,
hmm.
I think we might have had two, and it's just not the same. When I first got with my wife, they had a family reunion. I only been to one of those, and she told me prior to that they used to have them all the time. But guess what? Infighting. I did this. You didn't do that. You didn't help on this.
Yeah.
So now you say, fuck it. We ain't doing nothing. And that's what's hurting us. You know, we just can't put differences aside. And I want to say this: I always admire a family that sticks together.
Mm.
So uh, I would see the Joneses. They lived on the end of my block. Man, they stick together. I mean, I ain't never heard of them talking about one another. No infighting. They go and party together. No issues, and I always admire that because my family's sorry. Just keeping it a buck. Uh, man, like I said, my grandma died, and then because she was here, that made them get right.
Yeah.
They had to come out to the country because my grandma, she was the type that if she come to your house, she ready to get back out to the country. That's what she wanted to be. So uh, most of the time we would go out there, have a good time, and those are memories you can't forget, you can't replace them. Um, and now, man, you can't. I say, well, we doing Thanksgiving at my house where they hollering COVID. I mean, come on now. You going to work, you doing other stuff,
Hmm.
and but before COVID, it just wasn't no unity, man. It's I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No, I can't come, I can't do that. But and one thing before I let it go, me and my wife, we talking, we be like, man, our kids just are missing out on the experiences that we had growing up for us the family wise because now my kids don't know all their cousins.
Mm.
We don't
Man.
get together. Even my wife's family, when we first got together, every month they was doing something, and even that's then study falling by the wayside. So, man, that family is important, and you got to take time out your schedule to make sure that you let your loved ones know that you love them. Because uh, one
Fact.
day you're here and the next day you're gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fact.
yeah. I
So
know Duke. I know your family was close, man. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, um, you are listening to the Sip Slow podcast. If you watching this video, please go down there, hit the like button, click the bell so you can get notified whenever we drop a new video or some new content. and we so appreciate it. So, J Dub, man, what's the difference between being broke and being poor?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think sometimes it can be misunderstood as meaning the same thing, and honestly, depending on your mindset, I guess it could. But being poor is more of a mindset. Being broke is actually, you know what, I don't have any money. And how I look at this is you can be broke and still striving to do what you need to do to make a successful living, whatever that successful means. But I think you lose when you have a I'm poor mindset, because when I look at poor and it being the mindset, it's more of your drive, your determination. I can I can tell myself I'm poor, this ain't gonna never work out, it ain't gonna nothing gonna happen. And you start living that. I mean, you can really speak words into existence. That was something my wife used to tell me all the time. Like when we first met, be careful what you say because you can speak it into existence. And being poor is not what you want. Being broke, that's temporary. I've known people, I've been that person that has been literally broke. And again, that's something temporary. You eventually you can get a job if you're laid off, if you don't have a job, you can do something, find your passion. Being poor and is hard to correct, or thinking that you're poor. From our heritage, we've come too far to sit up here and just give up and have a poor mindset. Every day you wake up, if you can open your eyes and put your feet on the ground and move your limbs, you got an opportunity to do something, whatever that may be. It's to do something. You can go out and rake leaves. You can cut grass.
All right.
Don't sit up there and think, woe is me. You know, be ambitious about what it is you want to do. Get out of that feeling. At least if you're broke, you can say, you know what, I just can't afford it right now. Being poor is like, I'm not gonna ever get this. And God blessed me with too many skills and abilities to sit up here and give up on myself to feel like I'm poor. And you know, you got to almost think like a rich person when you broke. Poor ain't gonna allow you to do that. You think like a rich person, it's gonna always keep you going. And
Now,
so
come on.
that's my thing on the broken poor. I don't I don't feel sorry for poor people because I've had the thought of feeling like what poor may be, but essentially you were just broke. Because if you had the money, you would do what you need to do. You would get it. If you had opportunity for a job, I'm hoping that you would go and work. And so broke, that's fine, because there's been many people. You look at Tyler Perry, or then he said he was homeless. He lived in a car, I think. Now what is he? A TD Jakes. Now what is he? Although there's too many examples of being broke and bouncing back. But that idea of being poor, nah, man, I can't accept that.
Okay.
Spit. You spit.
Man, some balls.
No, man, it's
Nah,
just a
that's real.
mindset, bro.
It was some balls, man. I think being broke is spending above your means or close to your limit. Living
Yeah,
paycheck to paycheck, credit card debt, not saving, and I think that being poor is not having money to meet your basic needs. Your food, clothing, shelter. In 2016, a family of four earning less than 24,000 would be considered poor, and I think it's a lot. It's a lot of people that's living that way. Like you said, We have 24 hours a day. You know, everybody's not a college graduate or have a trade, but that don't mean you can't go get money uh, and legal money. So, man, you said pretty much all of it. I have a question, but I'll wait till Duke spit, say his piece.
Yeah, yeah. Dub got down. He got down. He really got down, and he pretty much said what I was gonna touch on, and
Okay.
I'm gonna still touch on it because I believe that no man, woman or female, male or female, woman or man, shall accept being poor. Poor is a mind state, a
Yeah.
state of mind. You know, growing up, uh, I would, I had like this epiphany. I was 18 years old. We had just graduated. I was sitting in my bed and uh, getting ready to turn the game on and play the game, and it was just like it came to me like, man, you were poor
Hmm.
in the eyes of what I considered rich and wealthy, but naturally and spiritually, we wasn't poor. We had everything. We had love. I
Yeah.
had a mother that loved me,
Yeah.
a father that loved me. We
Hmm.
had a family. We provided. My daddy provided. He went and got it. I didn't lack for nothing. But on an economical status, I was considered poor.
Yeah.
But on the in reality, I was rich because I had everything. So when I look at poor, like Dub said, poor is in your mind.
Hmm.
And so whatever a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on.
If I think that I'm poor, if I think that there's no hope, if I think I'm never gonna be nothing, if I think I'm never gonna obtain these things that I desire, then yes, I'm poor. It's one thing to be poor in your mind, but it's one thing to be poor in spirit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And see, when you poor in your mind and in the spirit, there's no hope.
Come on.
So if you don't have no hope, then you are really broke
Hmm. And broken. Yeah,
and,
you're right.
and broken. So you could go a lot of ways with this, but poor, that's the ultimate end.
Hmm.
Broke is that specific state at that point in time. But
Yeah.
broke mean chance.
Yeah.
see, see, I could go to work. I could go to work Thursday and don't have no money in my pocket and get paid. I'm no longer broke.
Yes, sir.
I got something. Save a little money and do it again. I got something. But if I'm poor in my mind, I'm not gonna go to work. I'm not gonna want to work. I'm not gonna want to strive. I'm not gonna set goals. I'm not gonna go after life. I'm not gonna want to have something. I'm not gonna want to be better because I'm poor in my mind. So I believe that, you know, that we should not allow ourselves to get to that point. And just because you don't have, or just because you can't get what the Joneses and everybody else is getting around you, that don't mean you're poor. And I'll say this. I got a good friend of mine, and I'm gonna close. We were roommates and college teammates. He overheard me and my father talking on the phone. And in fact, he called me earlier. And me and my dad was talking. And he was like, when we got off the phone, he came and sat by me. He was like, man, bro. He was like, I look at you, where you come from, your story. and you consider yourself, or you said, man, I was poor. You always said that, but I wasn't poor. He said, but I come from a background to where I had everything, had butlers, had money, had everything. He said, you were rich because you had love, and your daddy would give you his last. He said, I was poor and had everything, had M's, and my daddy wouldn't give me nothing. So that stuck with me. That stuck with me. But don't allow yourself to accept being poor.
Yeah.
Don't let that enter your mind, because you always have a chance to turn that around, that brokenness around, and not having money or the lack of money or what you consider uh, the essentials of life. So that's what I got to say, my dude.
Let me ask y'all this, and that was great, great insight and knowledge right there. Uh, do y'all feel like religion plays a part with us having a broke mindset in our community?
Religion. Well, go ahead,
What do
Doug.
you mean? What do you mean?
Well, my thought is most of the black people feel like they can just sit back and wait on God or Jesus or Allah, whoever you get down with, but uh, they gloss over that faith without works is dead.
Mm.
They gloss over that if you don't work, you don't eat. Uh, you just going to the church tithing every week without doing nothing. You're gonna be in the same boat. That's just my opinion. So I was just wondering, does that play a role in our community? Because the white person go to church, but they still out here on their grind. These people at Joel Osteen Church, yeah, it's all good. They clapping for that watered down message, but they out here getting bread. You know what I mean? They out here doing something, but we just want to make it by. God gonna make a way by and by, and that is true.
Yeah.
God will make a way out of no way. There's no doubt about that. But for you to be on a different level or have different things in life, you're gonna have to go out here and do something. So I was just wondering, do y'all think religion plays a part in our community, with us being in that broke mindset?
I don't necessarily believe that religion plays a part in that. I think sometimes people can get so caught up in these cliches that you hear in churches. So you will be rewarded if you do this. Clap 3 times to receive your blessing, whatever the case may be. That's cliche, but when it boils down to it, if you ain't doing nothing, then don't expect to receive nothing. Um, that's just period. I mean, you got to have hard work. You got to have perseverance. You got to be creative. You got to think outside the box. If you're not doing any of those things, then yeah, expect to be poor and broke. You can be both of them at that point in time because God gives you 5 senses. You got to be able to use all of them, and He gives you a mind to think. And if you're not, I mean, just look at it. Let's just say if there's a mountain you want to climb and you down at the bottom, I've not heard of anybody being able to teleport up to the top of that mountain. You're
Right.
not achieving anything. So if you don't take one step at a time and fall and slip and find your way out of this little crevice and this low point, then you can't expect anything else. And putting, I guess, faith out there as of, oh, faith failed me or religion failed me, whatever, that's wrong. Tithing is just a responsibility of a church member. It's not saying that you have to tithe in order to get. That tithing could mean that tithing is just that responsibility as a church member. Like I said, you know what, if I don't get $100 back, if I put in 100, I expect 200 or whatnot. You know what, maybe I look at, like, do I have health? Do I have a sound peace of mind?
All right.
Can I go to bed at night and actually sleep? Am I able to rest and relax and look at the fact that I still have lights and all of that stuff, regardless of how I did it? Even if I'm eating a piece of bread and not a bean, if I got a piece of bread, that's your blessing right there. It's not the fact that it's got to come back in money,
monetary. Yeah.
But I don't believe in allowing faith to dictate that. If you, let's again, we get 5 cents. If I got $35 in my bank account, I go to church and the preacher talking about you need to tithe, you need to give your 10%. Well, maybe I can't give the 35. Maybe I give, the 10%. Maybe I'll give 1%. But you know what? If y'all need help with picking out, handing out programs, or if there's a board I can serve on, it's that too. That's your giving.
Right.
Your time, your talent, and your treasure.
Maybe we need to bring up a different topic. We might be getting a little.
Okay.
we might can bring that up on a later date.
But just as far as broken poor, though, man, you know what? Some things we can't control in life. Let's just be honest. Some things we can't control, and you end up finding yourself in a certain situation. But what you can control is your thought process in that situation. Because if I'm gonna stay down and out, or if I'm going, you know what, tomorrow, if I get tomorrow, I'm gonna make the most out of tomorrow so I can bring myself one step close, further out of where I was.
For sure.
Facts.
All right, you are listening to the Sip Slow podcast. Man, we see that Ticketmaster wants to verify that you have either taken the COVID vaccine whenever that comes out, or produce a negative test within 72 hours in order to attend one of their events. I just feel like this is another way to force people to taking the vaccination. Because people can't go without their partying and they concerts and what other type of entertainment that Ticketmaster provides. So that's even sporting events, I would assume, right?
What? Yep.
So you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna sign up for this vaccine because of that. So it's kind of wild to me, Duke.
I mean, with their tactics and everything that's going on, it's not really surprising to me. I think that it's a tactic, and you made a great point with them wanting to force that vaccination on everybody. I think a lot of people, and they know entertainment is a part of people's lives. We like entertainment naturally. It's just something about us. You got a lot of fans, a lot of people that go to those games faithfully. You got season ticket holders. Uh, go to concert. People like concert music, different events that go on. Uh, I think it's a tactic for them. It's something that they using to get something out of us. But on the other end of that, I think a lot of people are gonna stay away from from going because some people don't want to take that test, that COVID test, uh, because they feel that they good, they don't have any symptoms, they don't have nothing going on. So why am I gonna go take a test and get that rod stuck up my nose and
Hmm.
just to go to a game or just to go to an event
Right.
if I don't feel sick or don't have anything going on. So I think on their behalf it's a blessing and a curse. I think they're gonna lose a lot of people. A lot of people are not gonna go get tested. I'm gonna just say that. And those that do, uh, that percentage, uh, that that do, it's not gonna be major. Even now, if you look at the stadiums, if you watch the games, the stadiums are less than 50% capacity. So, and
Yeah.
maybe even lesser than that. But uh, I don't think people are gonna go to get tested just to go to an event. I mean, I wouldn't personally. I mean, and I thank God that I'm healthy right now. I'm not sick and don't have COVID, but I'm just not gonna go volunteer to get a vaccination or take a test nothing when I'm perfectly fine. So
Right.
uh, that's just my thought on that.
For sure.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say around that. I've never heard of anything like that unless, I mean, I don't know, are they giving out free tests? But I doubt any of these events that people are going to now, however they bought their tickets, I don't think the stadiums and things are testing them. So I don't know what their whole point was behind it. I mean, I see, some sides to it, like you mentioned, but I'm not sure of the reasoning behind them doing that.
I saw the Golden State Warriors. They want to have like 50% capacity, but they want to test everybody that comes to the game. So uh,
Are they
I
testing
guess
them
that
before or after? I mean, or when they get there.
I think when you get there, because they do have some of those like rapid tests, but I saw where Erica Badu tested positive in one nostril, and in the other nostril she was negative. So the accuracy of these tests is something else. And I didn't even think about sporting events when I saw this headline. I was just thinking more on the concerts tip, but yeah, that's something there. So it might be good in theory, but I don't think they can just you know keep that up and track it like that either. So, uh, do y'all feel that this will be the new way of life?
Uh, well, if they don't get a hold on it, I mean, uh,
Well, let me ask you this.
huh.
So, do you really think it's bad as what the media says, or
I do, I do. I kind of, I believe it's a lot more. It's a lot more elements to it. A lot of things are unknown about it. I had a friend that uh got tested and was good. They sent her home and said she had a sinus infection. Uh, didn't test positive, was negative. Sent her home. A few days after they sent her home, maybe 3 days after that, she hmm, started having breathing problems.
mm,
Then she went back. She full blown COVID. So then she quarantined for like 17 days. Went got tested again. She was good. After they tested her again, no symptoms, no nothing. She got back off of her health kick, and week after that, it came back again. So I say all that to say this: it's a lot of things. It's a lot more variables than we know and what they know too. So, uh, I mean, it may be a way of life till they get a hold of it, and if it and like I said, I'm gonna add this too, and then I'll be quiet. That third wave, which I spoke on, uh, even before the summer hit, how they were gonna open up prematurely, and as they did, and because it's all about money, people start getting it. See, it's been dormant. A lot of people got it now, I think, and they don't know it. A lot of people asystematic too. But it's flu season now, and it's supposed to hit hard. And all the Ticketmaster and all of that, I think they're gonna have to start shutting things back down if we can't agree on something as far as even as the mask, wearing the mask nationwide. But it may be a way of life. Who knows? I don't want to deal with it, but it's a reality that we in right now. You know, I don't want to take no shot, but who knows? We may be forced to take a shot in order to work, in order to. Who knows?
They claim that shot got uh, stuff that alter your DNA in it. Whether that's true or not, but that's what a lot of people are saying. And they can kind of trace you. If you had a shot, they have something in you. They can kind of trace it. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't take it, but at the same time, if you got to feed your family,
Yeah,
I don't know.
they may, and that's a good point. They may put things in place. It's so sketchy. It's so scary. In a sense, uh, they may put things in a place where you can't go to work if you don't have it. You can't. I mean, you can't go to the grocery store if you don't. I mean, it may get crazy,
Yeah.
but and the reality of it is, we're guinea pigs. People that are taking that thing are gonna be guinea pigs. There's no. It hasn't even been effective long enough to test it to know what it's gonna do. So,
Do you
uh,
do you look at it from a biblical point of view?
I definitely see uh some of the parallels. I do. I look. I understand plagues. I understand. You know, when God do things to awaken
No,
us.
I mean it more that mark of the beast type of deal.
Um. Well, I haven't looked at it like that, but I've looked at like with them trying to implement a chip, get everybody to take the chip, and where that you can scan that chip, and you could pay for everything. You could that
Yeah.
basically they put that chip in you, and
Control you.
Right.
it's a key and a control. It's a key to life. They make you, you could buy your groceries with it. You could, it got your life. That's just another way for them to control you and to know. But yes, I believe a part of that is biblical. A part of it is reoccurring. And yeah, me and my buddies have had talks about it, but not to get off into it, the meat and potatoes, but the the the, the scriptures being fulfilled, the prophecies are being fulfilled. So we're just in a point in time as young men, black men, and young people, and those that are living now, that we're seeing it indirectly and directly. For those that
Mm.
have a spiritual eye, uh, we see a little bit more. For those that don't, uh,
Glass
we see it.
darkly.
We see it too, yeah. So we see through a glass darkly, but that's a part of it though, T. So at the end of the day, uh, even with this, I mean, this makes me better. This makes me uh iron sharpens iron. I know I can't state that enough, but this makes me be woke, and it allows me to be in the know And that's how every individual needs to be and needs to think. We should want to know what's going on and be aware because at the end of the day, men shall perish due to the lack of knowledge. So
Wow.
so we are we are definitely held accountable for what we know and what we don't know. So uh just for the people and for me, for my brothers, y'all, uh we just gotta stay woke.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, man. You boys over there touching in Corinthians with that see-through glass darkly. I see. Okay, okay, but no.
Oh,
So,
Paul.
uh, man, it's scary, honestly. I mean, at a point in time, there was other things. There was Ebola, there was polio, there was all kind of stuff. But this one here, it seems it's a little bit more real to me because wasn't alive on some of those things, but you can't identify any type of way to stop this. We can wear a mask all day. People can stay in the house, and it's unstoppable. It doesn't discriminate either right now, and so whether a place like Ticketmaster or the government or whomever is in charge is trying to find a way to control the people and the population, it's still affecting people. People are dying, and so I have to look at it as some of it has some, like Duke said, it does, some of it has some parallels, or at least what's kind of presented. Um, but the best thing you can do, man, is just listen to what's and follow your heart. If you think it's okay for you to go out there with no mask and just be amongst the population, by all means do so. But like we mentioned earlier, God gives you five senses, and so I just say and hope you use your best judgment in what you do, how you move, because it's not for you to look out for you. It's for you to look out for everybody who you come in, you know, you'll be amongst. And so that's my thing on it. I don't. I've had my theories on what the government does. I try to listen to all sides, and I think at a point in time that man is trying to, take over creation, and
Right.
that's that area I don't really care to play in, but I try to stay woke and I try to
Right.
listen, and I find the facts out, and some things just relate too much, movies, everything, and so
All right.
they are. I don't want to take no test either. I'll take a test when we get this voting situation fixed. That's the case. Once you get that fixed, then I'll take my test. But until then, I don't want to take a test. I
Talk.
don't want you putting nothing in me. You ain't got no business. So, but
Right.
I just I'll stay masked up. I'll try to avoid large crowd gatherings, and if I am there, I'm gonna be off to myself. So I don't know what
Yeah.
Ticketmaster trying to do.
I uh I talked to a local grave digger last week, and he was telling me about he had been diabetic, but he lost weight and he's off diabetes, medicine, insulin or whatever. And I say, man, yeah, that COVID, because I kind of lean more on that, what you might say, conspiracy theorists, because I feel like a lot of them make sense. Uh, so anyway, I was saying like, well, man, look, shit, I got pre-existing conditions. I don't need that. I got high blood pressure, overweight. Uh, he say, man, I did graves and I really don't bury nobody with COVID. He's like, most of them already had something going on. So uh, now when I go somewhere, I wear my mask. Uh, and I'm mindful because I don't want to catch it, even though I do feel that it's uh, something that's man made. I feel it's something that's being manipulated. Of course, people die in situations. You know, you don't want that to happen, but that's just how it be. Uh, even though they putting this out here, you know, it's never they never come on TV and say, "Well, look, change your diet, get off of these sugary drinks, this bad food, get your little black seed oil in your life, little sea moss." The media don't tell you nothing like that. First thing they want to throw at you is a vaccination. When it's other things that can be done to mitigate the COVID if you do get it, or most importantly, us that don't have it is to try to change what we doing to prevent it from happening. So um, that's why, you know, like I said, I think it's all man-made. I think the powers that be conspiring for some reason, uh, maybe population control or something like that. But I just feel it's a conspiracy to, you know, they have other things in motion. But I'm gonna say this to y'all: get on your black seed oil, change your diet. You know, get your smoothie in the morning. Try to eat you some leafy green vegetables. If you can, get off that meat. And
Yeah, that's huge.
Put that sea moss in your life.
Zinc.
Yeah.
Zinc,
Equinate.
vitamin
Elderberry.
C, vitamin C,
Elderberry.
elderberry. Uh, I was on my sea moss and I didn't fell off. I do the black seed oil. Got some right now, and I was doing the vegan thing and fell off. But you know, we have to get serious about our health, not only for the COVID, but when you start getting up in age also. So I know that's a little off topic. You know, we got to talk about Ticketmaster. Now we into this, but
But
I
you
feel that's
realize
good.
it's coming down to the point where Ticketmaster is saying something. I mean, who would have thought Ticketmaster would have put something out like that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can understand a school saying something like that, or you know, to come to school you got to have this test, or you know, going
Right.
to I don't know if a grocery store even put something like that. But Ticketmaster, really, when all your stuff is online, you know, it
Yeah,
ain't like you causing somebody to catch it. But no, I mean, you're right. We just have to take the precautions, like you said, man, and be mindful that this we don't know what's happening. We just absorbing what the media is giving us.
that's right. Well, you are listening to the Sip Slow podcast. Um, how do you judge a player, athlete, by stats or by championships? I'm gonna just say I think statistically it's the best way, and I'll let somebody else go. And I know we gonna build. So I'm here for it.
uh this a big one. This a big one. This a good one. This controversial. A lot of people talk about it. Friends, sportscasters, ex-athletes, athletes. I think it's a combination of both. Stats and rings. I mean, uh also really and truly, I think it's talent, man. Really what it boils down to. If you got the talent, you know, it done been some cold brothers that don't have the stats for whatever reason, but they cold.
Hold on. So what was your answer?
As far as
Stats or rings? How you judge? We ain't gonna ride the fence.
man, I'm gonna say stats over rings
Hmm. Okay.
because stats tell who you are as a player. If you scoring, if you assisting, if you touchdowns you throw. It tells what you do. It's the basis for who you are and what you do. So
Okay.
rings, some people just unfortunate they won't ever get a ring. I mean, great players, they won't ever get a ring. They wasn't in the right system. They wasn't in the proper program. They didn't have help. So I mean, so I'll take stats over the rings. But in a true argument, outside of just having to pick one, it's a combination of both. When you just want to break down the greats gonna have the stats and the rings. They gonna be able to show for their stats. They gonna have that championship to show. So that's what when it comes down to like a great argument, or if you want to just separate a great player from a good player, a star from an all-star.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with stats.
I think it all depends on what you consider how you judge players. I think the popular way they'll judge is by rings, but I would look at stats as well, because like there are many great players who never won a ring, and based on statistics, you can't say that they were not a good player. Based on statistics, you can put them in certain eras and certain categories based on the statistics. And so that's what I look at when I look at an overall player, is somebody who's going to do this, 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 and this, and can contribute this way. And it shows, the numbers don't lie. You may not have a ring, but you may have been a, 10-time All-Star, go into the Hall of Fame. You didn't get there by just because you didn't get a ring. You got there because of how you produced. So that's what I look at. I look at stats. But again, the popular amongst how you consider who's the best is by championships. But that's not completely, you can't discredit the players who have been able to have successful careers and careers that a lot of people would never be able to accomplish some of the things that they have, even if they didn't get a ring. So I look at stats.
Have y'all ever been in a argument with somebody is, capping for somebody because of the rings?
Man, so many times. So many times. But for example, when I think of people always talk about Jordan, and it's a lot of talk about Jordan. We Jordan babies, you know what I'm saying? We jaywalk on the wall, watched him, studied him. But then people will be like, well, Bill Russell got 11. They'll throw Bill Russell out and say, well, you're going to say, Jordan was better than him. So, yeah, I've been in a lot of conversations where people say that. But in reality, for an example, and Jason just said it, this is always my go-to guy when you look at just greatness and not talking about basketball. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was second to none. Never won a championship. Never. But was never in a system to win a championship. Was on a losing team. The Lions were the bottom of the barrel. But he was that deal. He was the truth. He was second to none. He still done what he did. And I think if you'd have put him with the Cowboys back then with the line that they had and had him a little bit more help, I think he would have done crazier numbers. So, but yeah, I mean, I've argued with guys about the rings and all of that. When they throw out Robert Horry, well, Robert Horry had 7. He better than Jordan? I mean, so yeah. But
you go down a slippery slope when you want to have just the ring conversation, because, like you say, Russell probably the ultimate winner.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with that? You know, you can't do nothing with it.
Right,
But
right.
you know, a lot of times too is it's the era. You know, I think it's hard to compare different eras because the game has evolved and evolved and evolved to where we at now. You know, could Bill Russell did what he did right now? I don't think so. Not to say that he wouldn't be a good player or all star, but you got to understand what he was playing against back in those days, also. But you know, just for people to say, uh, "Well, Karl Malone wasn't nothing," or Charles Barkley, I hate when I watch TNT and you got Kenny up there with
Talking
his
crazy.
with his pecked head, uh, Shaq up there, he talking throw, and then they want to say, "Well, Charles, you got to shut up. You ain't got no rings." Well, Charles Barkley is an all-time great. Uh, the circumstances just didn't allow him to win a championship, and everybody's not going to win one. That's
Fact.
just how the game go. Uh, Shaq had to leave Orlando and go to the Lakers to get him one. Karl Malone, a great player, all-time great. He ain't have no ring, but you can't put somebody over him just because they have rings. I don't think. But a lot of people feel that way, and boys, they get into some heated arguments.
Mm-hmm. A whole bunch, man, because a ring. But how many cats? You know, if you break it down to how many cats, you break it down to high school football or high school basketball, how many cats would just throw, super throw, and then win a ring? Yeah, when you 1A, 2A, 3, all the way up to 6A. Never won a ring, but I mean they got the stats and got the game that'll forever be known and forever be respected because of they gift. And
Right.
your gift, everybody can't win that championship. You know, everybody
Mm-mm.
want to, but everybody can't. So that's why I said you can't argue off of stats, or you can't argue off of just rings, you know.
And a lot of times it's people that ain't played no sports.
Man,
Huh?
these dudes kill me, man. And
Niggas,
It's those armchair
yeah,
yeah,
they was
quarterbacks.
goofy in high school. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's man, and T, that's a good thing you brought up because man, I check Facebook out, here and there, and it's a lot of guys get on there, man, be jaw jacking, blowing smoke, lip wrestling, and I'm like, dude, you never even played. What make you think that your opinion count? You know what I'm saying? How can you say something or say this person wasn't good or that, and then some of them you don't even know. You can't go back. You can't go back to the era. You can't go back to 90, 91. 92,
Right.
you wasn't watching no football. 93, you weren't watching no football. You was probably
Come
in Pampers.
on.
You was in Pampers, but you get on social media and now you this big sports guru.
Right.
You didn't play. You
For
know,
real.
you put them on. You put the pads on and you do what you do. Let me hit you in the mouth. Let me come down here and hit you in the mouth and let me see what you got then. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
It's crazy, man, but it's crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of guys that don't know the game. They dribble a ball once or two times or catch or throw a football and get out there and talk crazy, man, and just talk and don't really know what's going on. But I don't really say much. I don't get on there and argue with them because you're a fool if you argue with them fools. So I just let
For
them,
sure.
yeah, laugh at them.
You a fool if you argue with them fools.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's pre-game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, my brothers.
Dub, you got something on that or you want to move on?
No, I don't have nothing else. I mean, he said it perfectly. I mean, you really can't. Rings are the popular comparison, but stats. Some people won rings and didn't even have stats of some people who didn't win a ring. So, like I say, I stand by stats. In the popular vote, I would say rings to compare on certain people, but it boils down to stats, man.
For sure. You all listening to the Sip So podcast. Uh, we have a listener email question this week, fellas. Uh, this is from Philip Henderson, Smooth P. Uh, with Deion Sanders getting his son to commit, do you think the move will change the outcome of some others and flip their commitment? Doug.
It's gonna take a little while. I think Jackson State only has Dion. There's I don't know how many other MEAC, SWAC conferences out there or teams out there that don't have a Dion, but I do think it's an eye opener knowing that you have a legit Division I player who could potentially play at any school that is taking the opportunity to go play at Jackson State. But again, it's his dad, and his dad is Dion. So I hope it starts to change, but I still think we're still far away on that because the HBCUs don't have the type of money that the big schools get, which it simply boils down to the comfortability. It's not the fact of you can't go in the weight room at a TSU, at a Prairie View, or whatever, or Division II, Division III school. It's not the fact that you can't eat the same food that you would, not same type of food, but going to a cafeteria to eat food and have a place to lay your head. But it's just the comfortability is that you get these amenities of almost feeling like uh, you know rich. I mean, these kids at these schools, man, they get the opportunity. They live nice, and so by him taking that opportunity at Jackson State, opposed to where he was going to go, it will sway some people. He's probably going to get a lot of folks that'll follow his path, but I still think it's a long process before that whole effect takes on.
Mm. That's
I'm gonna
heavy.
go.
That's heavy. That's heavy. And not to cut you off, T.
Nah, you good.
I I agree with Doug. Um, I think it's a pivotal point. Um, I think I see the direction that uh Dion is going in and going for. I admire Dion uh for just wanting to give back and to change and to give people an opportunity and also I think his son could ball. He 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 get a shot at pro anyway, regardless to where he played at. And I think they know that too. But I admire his son too for following his dad. I mean that speaks volumes. Uh, but it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. But the groundwork and what he's doing won't go unnoticed. And a lot of recruits, I think a lot of ballers uh, go back to the old days. They'll go there. They'll change their mind and maybe it'll be a turnaround for the HBUs and CUs and just for the colleges that don't get that light shined on them as much. So that's what I believe, man. I think it's a good thing, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Both of y'all had some great points. Smooth. I'm gonna break it down for you, player. All
I'm gonna
right.
stand up. I'm gonna stand up.
Nah. But I'm gonna do my thing now. This is a unique situation. Uh, Dion already coaches his son, right, in high school. Now, last year his son was highly thought of. Him and Dion took a tour. They came to FSU. Uh, they went to Alabama. I want to say maybe South Carolina, Tennessee. Him and his son went on a little tour, kind of visiting. But he was ranked as like a high 3-star, 4-star prospect. Well, for whatever reason, his stock went down this year. He wasn't thought of, and his recruitment didn't take off the way that I guess him and Dion had expected. So about 3 months ago, Shador committed to FAU, where Florida State's former coach Willie Taggart took over. Uh, but from what I understand, Shador wants to play immediately. So I feel this is the main reason that he committed to Jackson State because, well, he probably can go there and play. Plus, his daddy is the coach, and they just gonna keep doing what they was doing in high school. Now, so will that change other players' thoughts? No, because the majority of the top players are still gonna want to go to the schools that's known and that's gonna get them to the NFL and play the best competition they can play every week. And like Doug mentioned, from a HBCU to a Tennessee, a Alabama, a South Carolina, a Florida State, the facilities and all the other perks are just
Great.
Man, you high class. You cannot go there and not have an impression when you step on these campuses. Even though the HBCU experience is probably great, but if we talking about playing ball, they want to go D1.
Here's my thing on that, if I may step in and say something, not to cut you off. And Duke, you probably would feel the same way. If you're comfortable with who you are and you know your ability, regardless of where you go, it should still shine. Now, everybody doesn't always get the opportunity, and then you just think like if you go to the Alabamas, the Tennessee, the Texas, you there shining, trying to shine amongst 21 other people.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, more than that. So
that's throwed it in you or on your ability.
Yeah, but iron sharpens iron.
It do, but when it comes down to it, you just think about how many people on them teams are superstars. They don't always get picked. I've seen many superstars go undrafted. Here, if Shador goes to Jackson State, and if he gets the opportunity to come in and play, I would too. I mean, he knows the system back and forth. Why wouldn't he go? Whereas his stock may have came down going to some of the other schools just because they know his daddy is Dion, and they feel like all this may come with something else. Jackson State had nothing to lose.
Yeah, but his other son plays for South Carolina.
Dion's son?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought
one of them played for. I'm out here.
I thought he played for SMU. I thought one of them played for SMU.
No, that was Deion Sanders Jr.
Yeah, he done.
Okay.
He
got 3?
Is it Shiloh? Shiloh? Yeah. He played for South Carolina, the Gamecocks. So
do he play?
Yeah, he been getting in lately. This year, I think last year he like redshirted, but my point is that every HBCU doesn't have Dion, right?
Right.
And what you said, I can understand that. But if you want to go be great, you got players that'll sit a year or two at Alabama because they're going to get coached up. They're gonna be in the best facilities, the best nutritional plan, uh, strength and conditioning coach, and then they'll wait their turn to blow up. Now, can Dion get some players that has talent that's maybe got some character issues, or they couldn't qualify at a bigger university? Yes, I think that will happen more because uh, we had a guy, Isaiah Bolden, who was a four-star DB with Florida State. He opted out this year. Well, after about 2 or 3 games, guess he wasn't getting playing time. So he committed to Dion at Jackson State. He's gonna transfer there. So that's what I mean. Players like that, that's high level, maybe had some things didn't work out there over there. I think Dion can get some of them people in.
He gonna get some. He gonna get some just because he Dion too. I mean, he an example. You know, he could get you to the next.
Yeah, but I don't know if he can get me to the next level.
I mean, he got
because
the same connections that all of these big D1 schools got.
Yeah, but you gotta be able to coach too. And you gotta have a good staff around. I mean, just it's many coaches that coached that played ball and they not good coaches. So
that's the part you get. That's the part you got to look at. This is his first time coming in as a head coach.
Right.
You know, Dion could have went coached anywhere he wanted to.
Facts. He could have went
coming in as a head coach, and it ain't like he don't know the game. He knows the game. I'm not saying he gonna win right away, but he's gonna start instilling a system in there. I believe that's gonna at least make them competitive, consistent.
I hope so. I hope so.
Let me ask you this: You say he couldn't have. You don't think he could coach at Florida State?
No.
Why not? You think
he's not qualified?
You don't think he could go coach the DBs at Florida State?
We're not talking about DBs. We saying head coach.
But I'm saying
yes. I think I would give him a shot at head. I would give him a shot as a DB coach. Yes.
He got to start somewhere. It ain't. I mean,
that's
all
what I'm
coaches
saying.
Have to start somewhere.
I'm not saying head coach. I'm definitely not saying go be a head coach there. He ain't even. He ain't even coached college yet.
Right.
So, no, but I respect what he's done on the high school level.
Facts.
Yeah, I respect that.
He started from the ground up.
Right. But like I said, I feel like he will get the guys with a little character issues that's talented. I do think that he will draw more of them into Jackson State, and at the end of the day, that's gonna make their team better. So I know I didn't have this on the docket, but we saw that today. There had been rumors. Russell Westbrook for the Houston Rockets, he supposedly demanded a trade, but we see today that James Harden requested a trade, and he said that he would accept a trade to Philadelphia or the New Jersey Nets. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets. What's y'all thoughts on that, Dub? Just quick thoughts.
I don't even care. The Rockets are a mess. Rockets are a mess, period. So I wouldn't be surprised if that team broke up.
I shouldn't have asked you. You a Spurs fan. My bad. My bad, man.
So, I mean, if I was a Houston fan, I would. If you don't want to be here, bye. I mean, because you don't have time for those people who are straddling the fence. If you don't want to be here, they gave you everything you could have wanted: star,
right,
money, the fame. Bye. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Facts. I'm gonna ride that out. I'm gonna ride that out too. And I feel like I may have even said it. I may have even said on one of the podcasts, get rid of James Harden too. I think I'm gonna go back, but
yeah, I had mentioned they need to blow it up. So you piggyback, and it might come to fruition. So like I said, I think Harden he done a great job for Houston, but you're not gonna win a championship with him. So the quicker y'all realize that, I think the better off it would be. Uh, so Duke, what's your surprising team of the week?
Normally, my surprising team would be somebody that surprised me as far as a win. Uh, Surprised me, did something that was unexpected. But this week it's gonna be a little different. Uh, I did a little betting um, this week, and I picked parlay three teams, and the Miami Hurricanes. They messed me over, screwed me. They couldn't beat they couldn't beat Virginia Tech by 3. So that's my surprising team. So I thought that they for sure covered that spread. And they allowed Virginia Tech to play and beat them at led most of the game, and it disgusted me. So to all the Miami fans, University fans, and our
I can't
partner,
stand them.
me either. Our partner Trey. I mean,
Yeah.
they cost me. They stopped me from winning a grand.
Ooh.
And yeah, I would have if they'd have won, I'd have won a grand. So that's my surprising team.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my team, man. The New England Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, put up a hell of a fight last night, man. Against no matter how many losses they came off of, Baltimore's a strong team, strong defense. Obviously, we beat them at home, but we won. I mean, we had most of the control of the ball offensively, and defense made the stops when they need to. Kept Lamar Jackson pretty much under wraps. He didn't get a chance to go off. So whether they still caught up on those losses that they've had, whatnot, but we took advantage of it last night and we pulled out the win.
Already. I'm gonna start off with number 10 ranked Indiana beating Michigan State 24-0.
Blanked
Uh,
them.
just for the fact that Indiana is a team that's been down historically, and for them to beat Penn State, then they beat the Wolverines, and now sometimes success goes to the head, but they still fighting and playing good ball. So that was a good win. Next, I have Patriots beating the Ravens 23-17. That's a great win. I don't like the Patriots, but I hope Cam does do good. So if that means the Patriots win, I can deal with it. And then last, I have the Dolphins beating the Chargers 29-21. The Dolphins have been down for many years, right? They are 6-3 right now, and 3-0 with Tua as the starting quarterback. So, and they doing their thing. Brian Flores, black coach, used to be the coach DC at Patriots. He's got them boys playing good ball. Also, I forgot to mention about a week or two ago, Mike Tomlin became the most winning coach, the most wins for an African American coach. He passed Tony Dungy about 2 weeks ago. So shout out to Mike Tomlin. I know we had the Steelers as a surprising team for a couple weeks, but uh, got to put some respect on his name,
Yeah,
like Birdman said. So
I think he's probably the only coach that has never had a non-winning season or not making the playoffs. One of the non-winning, I think.
no losing. Yeah.
Non-losing, yeah.
He's certified.
He's solid. He's solid. I like him.
Yeah.
I like what he stands for too. And he's a coach's coach, a player coach. You know, the players respect that man.
Yeah.
They respect him,
So
man. They look up to him. So I like what he's doing.
for sure, man. Well, it's that time, man. What did you learn today, Dub?
Man, I learned that no matter what, family is most important.
For
No
sure.
matter what's taking place, what's if there's jealousy or whatnot, still find some type of way to have that family as the core. Um, we put up with too many other things living in the world that why couldn't we set our differences aside with family and at least work on, even if you're not talking every day, at least just say, hey, how you doing? Want to see how you were doing, because time is short. You just never know.
Yeah. Like like Bobby Womack says, like a bottle in water. It just have it just keep on floating by. All right, y'all youngsters, y'all don't know nothing about that right there, but
That's that bonus in you, man.
yeah, little Harry hippie there, Bobby
Yes,
Womack.
sir.
All right.
That's all right,
Well,
though.
I almost stood up on that one, boy. Yeah, man. I learned today that if you don't have any hope, you're broke. Short and simple.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Well, I'm not gonna copy Dub, but I learned and I feel that uh us three we should take the initiative to get our family unity back and let us lead. So I think that's important to all of us, and I think we should do something about it.
100% agree. Even us sip slow family, we need to, maybe once a month or every 2 months, try to, get out and fellowship with one another. You know what I mean? Uh, just make the bond even stronger. So, we miss our brother JT today, Mo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Shout out to
sometimes,
JT.
yeah, man, life comes at you fast, man. So you gotta get it while you can. So I know he'll be here next week. So yeah, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe, click the bell, get notifications. Always, you can find us on Facebook, Sip Slow Podcast, Instagram, Sip Slow Podcast. If you got an email question, just some feedback, there you go, sipslowpodcast@gmail.com. Also, on this video, if you want to reach out to us, you ain't got to hit the email. Type us in a comment. Make sure you hit the like button. Uh, Shout out to Doug for being the producer of the show.
for sure.
He got everything nice, stepping our game up. So we appreciate it. You follow the Sip Slow page, we'll follow you back or like it. Same thing on the IG. Doug.
And now I again another awesome conversation with both of you, man. I know JT, he definitely would have been on, but duty calls. He making time for the family to make sure the family is good, and so we completely understand that. But again, man, hats off to you, hats off to you, Duke. And man, we as black men, we just got to keep moving, keep sharing this information, and you know, I'm thankful for it.
Duke, I know you. Check you on the Sip Slow podcast.
For sure, for sure. I'm
Y'all,
with it.
and y'all don't forget, check out Jason Washington's podcast. the Listen and Learn series. That's streaming everywhere, just like Sip Slow Podcast. Great interviews, great knowledge. It's a little different than what you get right here on the Sip Slow Podcast. So it's not a conflict of interest. So
No.
but also remember, we streaming on all audio. That's Anchor, that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. We appreciate it. So, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with us, and we sure appreciate that. But as always, man, we gonna sip slow, then we gonna live fast.
For sure.
Appreciate it.